Hi everybody, and welcome to the last episode of this season of paiagroject. What does that mean? Well, for you, actually, nothing. It's just that this is our last faction guide for the base game, and we were able to make it just exactly as this expansion was coming out. We made it, my friend, we made it. It took us almost like 3 years. I don't know. I don't want to count it. But yeah, we have done it. Last faction guide, Itars or Itars, I don't know. Yeah, I actually don't know how that's supposed to be pronounced, so I will be using both forms in this episode. Please be patient with me and tell me if you know how that's supposed to be pronounced. Anyway, today I have lots of stuff to tell you, so let's dive right into it without further ado. I will start by telling you that I am currently playing in the Board Game Arena season, the current season for Gaia Project. If you don't know what that is, well, the popular board gaming site, Board Game Arena, which is a platform for online play, where of course Gaia Project is enabled, runs these arena seasons. What are they? They are periods of 3 months each, where you can enter this sort of inner league and be crowned like the best, or as in my case, the worst player of them all. So what I am doing is I'm reporting my games, I'm linking all of them in the Gaia Project Fight Club Discord. You can find the link in the description for this episode. So, well, you can go there, enter the channel post-fight discussion, see that I'm spamming a lot of results. And, if you're interested, you can just have a look there. So, as of now, I have finished 2 games. The first one, I played it using Terrans. Now, this season is played in 3-player games. So I played with Stevie Nonex, who won with his Hadchalas, which got an insane amount of charge at the beginning of the game, built up a crazy economy, and then where there really was no way where I could keep up with them. I played Terrans, starting with Planetary Institute. I probably shouldn't have, but who cares? I hadn't been playing for a while, so that's fine. And Nabo with Ambas. So Stevie won by 200, while I scored 186. So shout out to Stevie, well deserved, well played. See you around. The second game I won using best codes, and I won against Last Zealous Jerk. One of the best nicknames ever. Not the best one. The best one remains Baltax OpenPI, of course. But Last Zealous Jerk was playing Baltax, so there must be something related to him not winning the game, or she, I don't know. Anyway, the other player was Frost Polaris, who was playing Xenos, and I scored like 188, yes. While Last Zealous Jerk scored 180, so I basically got lucky. But we are not saying that, so I was super strong, and that's it. Anyway, nice games, kudos to all of my opponents. If you want to play with me, get into contact. You have lots of means in the description, and then we can arrange some games together, even in arena mode. Maybe live, I don't know. Tell me, maybe we can stream something? Yeah, that sounds nice, huh? So, well, I will keep telling you briefly how these games go. Now, I have an important announcement for today's episode, and that's that this episode is sponsored. And this is a fun story. Keep listening, it's nice, it's fun. A few months ago, we received an email on the paiagroject email address, of course, where it was Magic Mind. It was Magic Mind, which is a company based in Venice Beach, California, that was telling us, hey, we listened to your podcast, we like it, what do you think about collaborating with us? The usual very, very kind business email, which went completely ignored because it fell in that moment where the podcast was silent. Neither me nor Molfo was giving any work, was dedicating any work to it, and so yeah, I saw that, shrugged, and went on. But yeah, they were really, really kind. They kept writing us, and then at a certain point, of course, they stopped. When I published the Ambas episode, I remember this email and tried to write them back and saying, hey, the podcast is back online. Is the offer still valid? I was extremely rude, but they weren't, so they said, yeah, of course. Okay, so I proceeded to try their product, which is, of course, Magic Mind. What is Magic Mind? Well, that's what they call a mental performance shot. It's like basically when you buy it, it's a box of small bottles. They come in boxes of 15 to 30. And they contain this small drink. It's like 60 milliliters or 2 liquid ounces, because Americans and British people absolutely cannot use the metric system. And this shot contains nootropic substances meant to increase mental performance, such as an easy example, caffeine, but it also contains lots of herbal extracts and fungal extracts. And along with nootropics, there are substances meant to relieve stress and improve focus and adaptation. Well, in general, it's meant to help you boost your productivity while not putting you under pressure, which is something that I really like about the philosophy of Magic Mind. Their claim is more productivity, less stress, which I really dig. Now, what did they ask me to do? That's really nice. That's sort of a challenge, which involves me trying on myself this product, which is something that I would have anyway done before recommending it to you. And I've been drinking it for 4 days in a row now. And I will keep telling you how it goes through an arc of 15 days. So far, so good. What can I say? It's the first. Well, first things first. It's really good. When I looked at the bottles, I thought this is really green, really greenish. It's going to taste like vegetables, and it doesn't. It doesn't. The taste is very good. It's I think it's the passion fruit and the agave, which is included in that. Also, being a biochemist myself, I was really involved in this. I was really interested. So I thoroughly examined the ingredients list, and I saw that, well, it contains caffeine, which is not a surprise since it's a nootropic substance, but it also includes other extracts which are designed to help release the caffeine throughout the whole day and not in the immediate following the so-called caffeine crash. Which I find it works. This works. And also, it contains vitamins, which is something that I'm really careful with, because an excess of vitamins can be toxic for your organism. But in this case, it doesn't. It doesn't. You should drink 4 times more of it. 4 shots throughout the day in order to reach the limit of vitamin D in a day, and you should drink like 20 of them in order to reach the limit of vitamin C. So I don't think you will run any risks. It's really interesting. As I was saying, so far so good. Am I getting more focus and improvement? Somehow yes. I cannot, of course, tell you if it's just a placebo effect, if it's the shots that are working, but as of now I can say that yeah, they're nice. It's a nice morning ritual. I don't feel exactly more focused, but I feel more focused throughout the day. Anyway, have a look at it for yourself. You can find in the description for this episode a link for Magic Mind where you can have a look, and you can buy it with using my code paiagroject20. You can buy it with a whopping discount for your first subscription. The discount is of 48%, so that's interesting. And also, you can have a 20% on a one-shot purchase if you want to just try it out. Have a look. If you are going to try, please tell me how it's going. It's fun and interesting. And well, that's it. So thanks again to Magic Mind for sponsoring this episode. And now, well, I think we can go straight into Itars. So, Itars. Itars are the last faction of our faction guides. And this is not by chance. Because I think that Itars are one of the most complicated factions to talk about, probably the most complicated faction to talk about, because they are everything but straightforward. Let me explain why is that. Because let's have a look at their faction sheet, as always. Okay, they're the Furious faction, huge glasses, heavy coats, fur everywhere. I'm not going into their art, sorry Morpho. But yeah, Itars start boasting... it's not ridiculous, it's not anything else, it's just unfair. An unfair amount of starting resources. They start with 5 ore, compared to every single other faction, which starts with 4, and Firax, which start with 3. Why? Why do Itars have to start with 5 ore? I get crazy. I'm crazy about this. I hate it. Oh, did I tell you, Itars are my least favorite faction? Because, well, first of all, when they are in play, Neblas, which are my favorite faction, cannot be in play, so that's bad. And also because they are... It's not that they are good, because they are good. They're very, very, very good, like among the top 3 factions, along with Taklons and Ivy's, in my opinion. But they are good because they have really unfair advantages. Advantages which I don't get why they do have. So the first one being they start with 5 ore, and that's it. You just get 1 extra ore. There, you go. Take it, baby Itar. Go out there in the world. You have this little boost for no reason. We know why. We don't know why. Well, now Firax, they will have to do with 3. Who cares? So yeah, I won't elaborate on this further because it's evident. It's great. It's a huge advantage, and nobody understands why you have that. Also, your academies are the worst part, because if you open your QIC Academy, that's nothing to see here. You can open it and then you have your normal QIC action. I mean, the button where you use it and take 1 QIC. But the other one is the worst academy in the game, if you ask me, because that academy gives you an income of 3 knowledge. Again, why? Why do Itars have... this insanely good academy? I hate it. I hate it. That academy is real good, and so of course that will define how we will talk about Itars in this guide. Of course, opening with that academy is highly recommended, but Itars are so good that that's not the only way you can start your game and still be ridiculously competitive. Speaking about being competitive and not being that the only way to open your game, let's talk about Itars Planetary Institute. Now, this is complicated. Okay, so first and foremost, you have an extra income with Itars, because you, regardless of anything you do, you have an income of 1 power token right into your bowl number 1. Why is that? I don't know. It's a bit like the one or the left academy. Yeah, the left academy. You just have an income. Nobody knows why, nobody wants to know, I don't want to know, and that's it. But once you open your Planetary Institute, you will get your normal Planetary Institute income, meaning that you will get an extra power token in bowl number 1, meaning 2 power token income each round, and then you will charge 4. But now you unlock Itars' very, very special ability, which is, during your Gaia phase, you can remove from the game 4 tokens from your Gaia bowl and gain 1 technology tile. This technology tile has to be legal, so you can take an advanced one. Yes, you can, no problem, do whatever you want. But if you want to take an advanced technology tile, you have to be in your Gaia phase next to an advanced technology tile, and you have to have a Federation token at your disposal. You're still normal under that regard, but yeah, you can take any tile you want, including advanced ones. This is a defining ability. This is I don't know how to define it. It's not. It's offensively good. It's a very, very, very good ability. We know whiteboard means weird relationship with power cycle, so this fits perfectly into that. Also, please just be aware that this happens into the Gaia phase, which happens after the income phase. So if you take any income tile during this step, which you can, absolutely no problem, but be aware that that won't trigger until the beginning of the next round. So this round, that tile won't do anything for you. But of course, you still get the advancement on the technology track as normal. So great ability. Of course, you have to be careful that there's enough power in your Gaia bowl. So how can power get in your Gaia bowl? Well, it can enter your Gaia bowl normally using your Gaia formers if you research a Gaia project, because we start with no technologies, or it can enter your Gaia bowl using our faction ability, which I haven't talked about yet. But you could say, okay, so we have this incredibly good planetary institute, we have a very good academy, left academy, and then we have the extra ore at the beginning of the game, right? Of course we do. So we don't need anything else, right? No, we also have a ridiculously good faction ability. Embed into Itars. So how does that work? Well, when power is in your bowl number 2, remember, white board, weird relationship with power cycle. Once power is in your bowl number 2, whenever you burn power in order to get 1 power into the bowl number 3, the single power you burned is not discarded. It enters your Gaia bowl. So if you accumulate enough power in your bowl number 2, you can burn as much as you want, have a ton, or well, whatever, how much you have in the bowl number 3, and then your 4 powers will enter your Gaia bowl. So they are ready to be burned during your next Gaia phase to get technology from your Planetary Institute. Sounds good, huh? Because it is. Think also that Itars do not start the game with 6 powers, but they start the game with 8 power tokens, 4 in bowl number 1 and 4 in bowl number 2. So add to this that you are getting an extra one anyway, because yeah, that's an extra income that you have. Nobody knows why. So you start the game with 9. You only have to charge 4 at the beginning of the game in order to get 8 in your bowl number 2. So you can immediately burn 4, perform a 4 power action, and then if you open your Planetary Institute round 1, you can immediately burn them 4 to get a technology tile during the Gaia phase. Itars are good. Itars are a good faction because of these combined abilities. Or you can maybe postpone that. I don't know, maybe next round. No, it's too good. I think I will open my 3 knowledge income academy. Yeah, because we have, the normal knowledge income of 1, as almost everybody has, except for Bascots and Firax. But we open that, and we now have an income of 4 knowledge, just with that academy. We are capped at +1 knowledge more than every other faction. Of course, Nevlas can go to lengths because they can freeze their power in order to gain knowledge. That's weird, but just talking about raw income, Itars are capped at 4 knowledge, 3 from labs, 1 from the regular income, plus 3 from their ridiculously good academy, 7, the full knowledge track, 11, and then the 1k 1 credit basic tile, which totals up to 12. We are the only faction which can gain 3. Okay, it's real hard because we have to open all of this, but in theory, we are the only ones in the game which can make 3 tech bumps every round just by raw income. And this will help. We don't have to go to these lengths to take advantage of this. We will see this later in the guide, but yeah, keep in mind that Itars really have a good knowledge income if they want to. Now, how to put this all together? Well, let me say something before we get into the meat of the guide. Now, Itars are a difficult faction to talk about because Itars have basically 2 ways of playing depending on how you open your game. We all know that there are like a ton of different openings for all factions. Not all work equally well for all factions and for all situations, but there are some which are 99% of the time good, or at least viable. Itars can open however they want. They can open with the so-called universal opening, so end up round 1 with the 1 research lab, 1 trade station, and 2 mines. Keep in mind that every opening is easier for Itars than it is for others, because they start with an extra ore, just like, also Ambas do, because they have the extra income, but they have all their abilities and this one. Anyway, so Itars can do easily anything, but aside from that, they can open with 2 labs, why not? But the recommended opening for Itars is 100% to open with one of their large buildings. You can choose, you can choose whatever you want, but my recommendations are that you can choose between the Planetary Institute, nice one, that's my favorite one. Opening with your PI will set you up for a harder game. A game where you will have a narrower set of decisions and playstyles, but also a very interesting one, a very extreme one, a very fast-paced type of game. It's a hardcore type of game that you are setting for. Or you can open with your left academy. That's the privileged opening. You can boast with everybody about how good your left academy is. You can also boast about how easy it is for you to open with an academy because, well, you saw with an extra whore. So that's the opening for the obnoxious person who wants to lose friends, but also is a very flexible opening which sets you up for an extremely solid and very rich game. Which one is best? The community has always been divided between these two. My vote is for PI, not because that's the best, but because I think it's the most interesting, it's the most fun one. In my heart, I think that the most optimal one most of the time is the Academy one, because it solves once and for all the knowledge problem. You will have all the income you need for knowledge in order to take one bump around without any external help. But also, since you are getting 2 tiles, at least, it's a very flexible opening. It is easy that you will gain a considerable income, at least under the credits aspect, or maybe the ore, if you're getting the 1 ore and 1 charge tile, why not? If you can grab 2 income tiles, that's ridiculously good. That's a very good opening, which sets you up for a very good game. Now, what's the decision based on? Well, it depends, of course, both on the setup of the game, meaning the final scorings, and the setup of the technologies, or the basic technology tiles. Because you're getting a lot of technology tiles in both ways. And don't get me wrong, it's not like you open your PI and then you are never opening your academy, nor you are opening your academy and then you are never opening your PI. But since you're opening your PI, you are then set for a more straightforward Gaia forming game. Just place as many Gaia formers as you can on the board, score from them, then don't worry about getting tech because you will get it through your Planetary Institute. It works, it's great, it's like a case where you're getting all the basic technology tiles in the game, more on that later. You won't be very rich in this game, so it's likely that you are not getting enough resources to open your left academy in a situation where it matters enough. Instead, if you're opening your left academy, it's likely that you are opening your PI as well, because it's very, very good. So, and it works also, I mean, even if you're taking it, I don't know, around 5, of course, you're not optimizing its use, but it works also later in the game. So what do I recommend? Well, it depends. In a vacuum, let's be honest, I think the Academy opening is better. But Gaia Project never works in a vacuum. So you have to consider the game. if it is a heavy Gaia forming game, or if you decide it to be, because if Gaias are in the game as final scoring conditions, and maybe there's another Gaia forming faction, namely Terrans, you may want to compete with them in order not to leave them all the money in the bank on the Gaia track. And so you are opening PI and then rushing with the Gaia forming game and try to compete with them. And that will be a very interesting game. I like that kind of game. But also you could shrug and say, whatever, man, whatever. Gaia form as much as you want. I don't care. I am not competing with you. I am opening with my academy. In this case, maybe you are still going a bit up the Gaia track because you want to maybe not leave all the trans teams in play to the crazy Terran player who will be getting mad with this insane scoring and then resource income from his planetary institute or her planetary institute. But yeah, it's really up to you. More on this later, of course. But this very, very long premise was intended to remind you that Itars are a complex faction, which is absolutely not one-sided, and a lot of what I'm about to say will depend on whether how you open with your PI or your academy. So now, let's talk about the map. Is the map important? No, it isn't. We are very good. Itars are very good and flexible. You play, I don't know you, but I play against Itars all the time. Of course, it's just my eye, but it looks to me that Itars are always present in any auction game. I don't know why, but Itars seem to be always there. And people, of course, always bid high on them because they're good. And also they're very flexible, which is basically the same thing as saying that they're very good. Itars don't care too much about the map. Of course, there can be very bad Itars maps. There can be very bad ones, but it's hard because all you need is just 2 white planets, accuracy range within each other, done. You also likely need access to trans-team planets, at least some of them, but it's not necessary actually, because if you're not going Planetary Institute, you don't need to Gaia form, or at least you don't need to do that immediately. You will need to charge good, but more on that later about technology and basic tech tiles. But you can easily open your academy and then even never go in Gaia forming, or maybe take one step just to compete, as I was saying before, with the true Gaia forming factions. So you can look at the map and basically say, okay, yeah, there's 2 white planets, one from each other. Fine, I'm taking Itars, no worries. If you can see a lot of trans teams near white planets without easy access for orange and or blue, that's hard, but it could happen. Okay, then it's going to be a very good Itars game. You can do anything you want. You can terraform planets or you can Gaia form planets. Of course, you have a natural tendency towards Gaia forming. That's why in all our discourse we always say another Gaia forming factions such as Itars, because we always name them. The Itars have a natural tendency towards Gaia forming because of their PI ability, but you are absolutely not obliged to go the Gaia forming game. You can go up the terraforming track and terraform planets. Absolutely no problem. Just remember that, of course, Gaia forming perfectly suits your natural ability. So yeah, that's still a recommendation on my side. Final scorings. Again, I really like this last streak of guides because what we are saying is, well, you're good at everything. And Itars, guess what, are good at everything. I still don't like too much number of planets for them. But again, if number of planets, planet types is in game with Itars, that could be just a warning that, no, that can be a suggestion for you to say, okay, there are going to be good terraforming factions. Why not go solo Gaia forming and crush them using the 3 points per Gaia planet with an PI opening? That's very interesting. Or maybe not. Maybe you can take Itars, go with the Academy, compete a bit for planet types, and then still in the mid-game turn to Gaia forming. Why not? You can do that. So, yeah, planet types is not final scoring conditions, which tells me, yeah, Itars. But I won't say, no, that's in play, I'm not playing Itars. No, I don't care. I'll just play them if I want to. And I never want to, so who cares? But maybe you do, so don't worry about that. Gaia planets. I won't say much else. We are very good at Gaia forming. We are the second best Gaia forming faction, in my opinion, even if we do not start with Gaia forming. But unlike Baltax, we have natural advantages with the power we are throwing in the Gaia ball, provided we have open API. So, absolutely fine. Gaia planets, again, we won't be the only one Gaia forming, but let's be honest, it is very rare that there is only one player using Gaia forming. So you can pick Itars and be good at that. You can likely win that. You will compete with Terrans or Bartax, but aside from that, yeah, good condition for us. Not much to say here. Number of structures in Federation. Now, we want to build our large buildings, so we are not the best faction, but let's be honest, who cares? That's not important. We're good at this because we can be either a rich faction, in that case, we can build a lot of mines on the board, and so yeah, okay. Also, or maybe we can be not rich, but also we are getting the transtines, which are extra planets, so again, we're good putting mines in game. Also, we like to go up the navigation track, spoiler, so we can also aim for the lost planet, and that's fine. One more structure, maybe even in Federation, okay. So yeah, not bad ones. Satellites, this is a bit tricky. I think Itars are bad at satellites. Even if I have seen many games where Itars score a lot of satellites. In theory, you could think that, yeah, we naturally have 6 more power tokens throughout the game, right? Because we have base income of 1 token. But the truth is we want to burn them a lot through our Planetary Institute. So, can we be good at satellites? Yes. Is it worth it? I don't think so, because unlike Bascots, we don't like to use our power tokens for federations. We want to use it for technology tiles, which is way better. So are we good at that? No. Do we care? No. Because why score 6 more points if you can score like 7 from a basic tile? Or 15 from an advanced one? Or 12? Best would be to do both of these things and then being good at final scoring. So satellites are not a recommended condition for Itars. Does that mean that if satellites and planet types are in game, we are not playing Itars? Well, maybe not. Maybe we're not playing them. But also, if we really are into that, maybe the technology tiles, advanced technology tiles setup is very good for us. The map is good and we can still play them and not worry about that. And it's fine. It's fine. Sectors, we are not the best, but if we go Gaia forming early, so especially PI opening, sectors are good for us, but you can do that with the academy as well. Don't worry, that's fine, it's fine. Anyway, sectors, we're not especially good at that. We have no great advantages, but since we can colonize normal planets and transit them once, yeah, we can do well at sectors. We are not great at any of the final scoring conditions, but we are not awful at any of them as well. We're not like, I don't know, Lantids. Structures and sectors, oh dear, we're perfect for this. But then Lantids, satellites, and Gaia planets, oh, we suck at this. No, we're never into this. We're always, that's fine. Maybe if structures is in play, we can say, okay, I'm good at that. Sectors and satellites. This is not exciting, but I don't care because I have Itars and I will bring this game home fine. Anyway, this is the point and this is why this is a good faction. So final scorings, bottom line, don't worry about this. Take home message is don't care about that, just pick them if you want. Look at other stuff. And what is this other stuff? Well, it could be really important, actually, to look at stuff like, I don't know, basic technology tiles. because we're getting a lot of this. We probably are getting all of this, or almost all of this. Itars get a lot of basic tech. You will race with Firax for the number of basic tech tiles, and likely you will win that race. It's not a race, so nobody cares, but we get a lot of them, especially with an early PI. Itars gets so many basic technology tiles that at some point you will have more tech tiles than the number of advancements on a specific track that you can make. Okay, no, maybe not often, but that can happen. That you are maybe, I don't know, at level 3 of a technology track, but you forgot, or maybe that was an ideal. You didn't take, anyway, the basic technology tile at the bottom of that track. Now you want to go to the 4th step, maybe it's, I don't know, navigation, so it's important to pass from 2 to 3 axes of movement, and you haven't taken that tile yet. And you want to spend your 4k for that, because you need the 3 tile, but then you say, I don't know, because that way, when I get that tile, because you will, I want to advance further on the track. And so this can get weird with Itars. Also, take into account that if you're opening with your PI, knowledge will be an issue. Technology won't be an issue. And also advancement on the tracks won't be an issue because you will get tons of tiles. But you will be very dependent on technology tiles for your bumps on the technology tracks. So you have to study this very carefully with Itars. It's very different if you're opening with your left academy, because this immediately solves the issue. You are now getting 4 knowledge each round, you have already taken 2 technology tiles, but the question is, where have you gone up? Because you have to take into account that, as is for any academy opening, you have to deal with the income round 2. So of course, if you're opening with the academy, going up the economy track is the easiest and most recommended opening I can have for you. So will you need the 1 QAC and 1 ore tile to open your lab and then your academy? I don't know. It depends on your booster, it depends on the situation, it depends if you can take the 2 ores, because for example, if you took the booster charge 4 and 4 points per large building, you start the game with 8 power in bowl 2, if you want to, and you want to. And you can immediately burn 4, get 4 in your Gaia bowl, have 4 in bowl number 3, and take the 2 ores action, and nobody else can do anything about that, except for Ivids if they play before you, or Taklons, but again, it depends. You cannot count on that. So maybe in this case, it's not necessary to get that, because you start with 5. Your 2 initial mines will get you to 8, 1 base income and 2 mines. You now get the 2 ores from your power actions, and that's 10. That's almost enough to build your academy. So are you getting another ore from your power? It's hard, I don't think so. But maybe you can take an income tile with the first lab and go up 1 step on terraforming and get the 2 ores there. It's not ideal, but it's fine. It's fine. Or maybe you see that you are getting charged. You can get the charge 4 button tile, do that, and have your last ore that you need for your academy. That starting ore is really important for this opening. So then maybe with your academy, and you take 1 step with that on the economy track side, okay? So now with your academy, you get the 4 credit income. And you take another bump on the economy track. Now you're getting 1 or 6 credits, and you're charging 2 just from tiles and technologies, and that's great. That's something which we often see. Or maybe you can do something a bit less reliable and go up the science track, because you are greedy, and 1 bump around won't be enough for you. So you want to get to an income of 8 technology as soon as possible, or maybe 6 on 2 rounds. And that can be done as well. You just have to be careful that it will be sustainable, because you are getting like 6 or 7k each round. But will you get enough credits and ore in order to sustain your game? That depends. That depends. which is the other tile you're getting. Is it the charge 4? I don't know if that's enough. Is it the 1k 1 credit? So you're getting 8 knowledge income from round 2, and that's disgusting. So please do that. People do that all the time with Itars. It's possible. In order to do that, you will need the 1 credit and 1 knowledge tile. So you got basically just 1 income tile, which possibly is the, yeah, maybe 1 ore and 1 CIQ, which is not an income tile, but it allowed you to do so. But now you have built your academy, you will gain a ton of science. Is it enough to get like another mine round 1 on the board? These are the thoughts that you must have when you open with your academy with Itars. I don't want to make you think it is hard, because it is not. I just want you to be focused on thinking about these things, on planning about them, because it is important. It is important, and it could hamper your next rounds. Anyway, don't worry, especially if you go up economy. Itars are good, it's going to be fine. It's a strong faction, don't worry. Now, for the PI opening. This is really delicate, more delicate than that. Because we are not getting any technology tile during round 1. But here the map is really important, because we will start going up Gaia forming instead, and we absolutely want to lay down as many trans-teams as possible throughout all the game, because our technology income is mostly based on our power and our planetary institute, and we want that to work steadily and constantly. So how does this work? Well, we have to go up the Gaia forming track, 1 step with our 4K, that's easy. Now, what's the goal for round 1? I'm laughing because, okay, let's say that our goal for round 1, let's set it this way. Our goal for round 1 is to put 8 power in the Gaia bowl. There are some people out there which will tell you, no, the goal is to place 12 of them and get 3 tiles round 2, otherwise you have failed. Let me be clear, those are freaks, and they are geniuses at this game, and we don't care about that. 8 power is fine, get 2 tiles, it's fine, don't worry, don't worry. So let's set for that. If you then want to go to 12, enter the Discord, enter the strategy channel and ask, hey, how can I get 3 tiles with Itars round 2? And they will be more than happy to link you like 200 games where they did that. So we are not talking about that here. We are setting for 2 tiles round 1. So we have to go up the Gaia forming track. That's 6 powers frozen. We start with 9. So what are we doing? Well, keep in mind that you can burn 2 power tokens from bowl 2 to get them in your Gaia bowl. So that's quite easy actually. We can burn 2 power in order to have them ready for sacrificing at the beginning of round 2 to RPI, and then just lay a Gaia former down. That's fine. That's 8. Fantastic. The problems are that, well, first and foremost, map is important here because we need a transiting planet next to one of our starting planets. Possibly the one where we are building our planetary institute, so it's ready for a federation from round 3 to 4, say. And we also need, keep with me please, a lot of, or at least 2 transiting planets within range 2. Why is that? Well, because we would like to reach navigation 2 as soon as possible and use that level of navigation in order to colonize as many white, gray and blue and transiting planets as possible. Now, how is this going to happen? Well, the ideal starting situation also sees the possibility of having 2 transiting planets next to white planets. This seems a bit much, but due to the shape of the sectors, that happens more than you probably think. I don't know what you think, of course, but I know that happens. And this way, you can do the following. Now, bear with me again. We ended round 1 with 8 power tokens in the Gaia bowl of our board. So, now, during the Gaia phase of round 2, we want to take the 3 point per Gaia planet, basic technology tile, and we want to use that to go 1 level up Gaia. So we are getting 3 extra power tokens from level 2 of Gaia, bringing us to a grand total of 6, which isn't much, but we really need that power because we burned 8. So we remained with 1, gained 2 more due to RPI, and now we have 3. Not great. 6 is much better, even though we are going to burn them as well. So, okay, the PI opening for Itars is like a burning power token machine, basically. Now, what are we going to do next with our 4 extra powers in the Gaia Ball? Well, we are going to use them in order to get an income tile. I like the charge 4 at this stage of the game. That's the best in my opinion, but also say 4 credits income will greatly help us. And we want to take another step on the Gaia forming track, bringing us to level 3 of the Gaia forming track, and now we just need 4 power to place a Gaia former down. This is great because that's exactly 1 Gaia former, 1 technology tile. Easy to keep track of. Now, is this ideal? Well, it is if we have 2 trans teams next to our planets. If not, we have to find a QSC somewhere, maybe in a run booster, maybe with power. Don't forget that we have charge 3 from going up on the Gaia forming track, and we also possibly, maybe, hopefully, have taken the charge for basic technology tiles, so that's 7 charge, and not bad. What are we going to use that for then? For a QAC which we need to move? Hopefully not. Hopefully we don't need that, because the ideal situation, we're reaching Christmas land here, I know, but that happens more often than I thought. We now want to use that power to get the +2 power tokens power action. It's an often neglected power action, especially at this stage of the game, but not by Itars, because we need tons of power tokens. We need lots of them. We need lots of power tokens, and spoiler alert, we really like the +2 power token federation, because yeah, we really are mulching them down with this setup. So we want, by the end of round 2, to have 2 Gaia formers down, and that's ideal because, again, we now have 2, so to say, technology tiles ready in our Gaia Ball. That's easy to keep track with. That's, as you see, it already gives us good expansion because we are laying mines down. We are also scoring because every Gaia planet gives us 3 power tokens. Problem is that we really are in dire straits regarding economy. The main problem with this strategy, in fact, is that we really struggle with credits and knowledge income. Now, you might say, okay, but I don't need knowledge because I'm going up the technology tracks by getting technology tiles. That's somehow true, but sometimes you just need a good old technology bump spending for knowledge. Why is that? Well, as I said, technology tiles tend to end. You will get a lot of them. More often than not, well, I don't know if more often than not, but often, with this opening with Itars, you will get all the basic technology tiles. And that means that you, congratulations, you have just capped the number of bumps you can take on each track using this strategy. And also, you have, just by mere math, 1 technology bump on each technology track, granted by taking the appropriate technology tile, and that's great. You then have 3 more from the wildcard ones, which you can get on any track you want, and maybe, I don't know, let's say 1, 2, 3 more bumps granted by the advanced technology tiles. That's not enough. That's not enough, because you will need more than this in order to carry out a successful game. So we still need knowledge, and well, that's a problem, because what can we do at this stage of the game? Let's say round 2 or something like that. We can do nothing. Maybe, possibly, we can open, if we find the credits, we can open a research lab round 2. But Yeah, that's not a given. That's not granted. And as you may have already gotten, the Planetary Institute opening is hard. It's a hard one because, I mean, no, it's easy to carry that out, but it's hard to optimize that. It's hard to have a PI opening which gives you a smooth game from the beginning. I think it's impossible because it will never give you a smooth game. It always be hard. You will always have to make tough choices. Just as an example, I just told you to get the 3 points per Gaia Planet basic tech tile round 2. Is that a given? Absolutely not. You may instead decide, okay, I'm not doing this now, I'm sacrificing a few points, but instead I am getting, say, charge 4 and 4 credits income. Therefore, it's going to be solved for me from now on. Or maybe you get 4 credits income and 1 credit and 1 knowledge income, so that helps you with the knowledge. And instead of going up Gaia, you're going up science track, so that also, or economy track, so that problem is solved. Are these viable? Yes, they are. Yes, they are. I just told you how I usually do when I open PI, when I use this strategy in its purest form. This means I obsessively focus on navigation, Gaia forming. I just want to lay down mines on Gaia planets, whether they are transteams or printed Gaia planets on the map, or also white planets. I mean, I just want to put down mines. That's the idea of behind this strategy, which works really well for most structures and for sectors, and for Gaia planets, of course. But you will always have some leeway with Itars. You can always make decisions, you can always change plans, you can always pick up different paths. And that's also the fascination of this faction. They are so versatile, so good all around, that you can take basically any way you want and be somehow successful. And that's why I don't like them. But now, I told you about the PI opening regarding technology and tech tracks. Let's talk a bit about the Academy opening. This is way more relaxing. Now I want to play a game with this opening, you know? This instead is a really smooth game. I recently am playing against some Itars players, which are absolutely thrashing me, going up the science track because they are able to do so. That's great. Economy works as well. Pick your poison. I don't care. They're both good. So, now we're going to talk about advanced technology tiles. And to be fair, after the Ivis discussion from last episode, I'm a bit tired about this. I don't know what to tell you. They are always the same. They are all good. They're not all good, but you know the good ones. Buttons, take them as soon as possible so that you can take advantage of them. It depends. If you are playing PI Itars, the 5 credits and 1 QAC button can do miracles for you. If not, also the 3 knowledge can help you solve that problem so that you can focus your resources on getting credits and ores, and that's great. With the Academy, those 2 tiles aren't the best. You might want to focus on scoring ones. Which are the good ones? Well, all of them. Except for 1 point per planet types at the end of the round, because that's always a problematic tile. Up to next episode. Small spoiler for the Lost Fleet, but you know the good ones. 3 points per mine, that's good. It depends when you get them, but that's good. 2 points or per mine or 4 points per trading station are fine. Not the best tiles, but they are fine. 2 points per sector. Is this one of those games? If so, yes, it is. If so, yes, it's a good tile. If not, I don't think so. Then, well, 3 points per lab. Okay, 3 points per lab might not be ideal because in all cases we struggle a bit keeping our labs open. Also because after opening the Academy, we want to open our PI anyway because that's too good to be left there. So, yeah, 3 points per lab could be not the best. Okay. 3 points per trading station, just not a good tile. Well, I have nothing to tell you about this. We are there. 2 points per Gaia planet. Now, it can be deceptive. I mean, it's amazing. If you can get it, it's amazing, especially if you open PI. But then, I mean, even with the Academy opening, you are likely to go up the Gaia track throughout the, say, mid-game, round 3, 4, I don't know. Once you open your PI, that's highly recommended anyway, along with the 3 points per Gaia planet tile. but I don't know, because if you pick Itars based on the fact that that tile is in play, that could be great, or you could face some hard competition and see that tile stolen just in front of you, and then you made nothing. So yeah, that's a good one for Itars. That's always a good one if you're Gaia forming, but be aware, because don't pick Itars based on that. It also depends where it is, but as you might have understood by now, we are not good at rushing technology tiles. That's the point. So we really don't like technology tiles which have to be taken early. We can of course still get a good button, not earlier than round 3 actually. We can still get a good scoring tile, but keep in mind that you are getting them no sooner than round 3, because we are not good at rushing tiles. Forming federations is okay, even if we have no special advantages for that. But we are not good at going up one single track, except if we took the science track at the beginning with the academy opening. In that case, we quickly are granted 2 bumps per round, and that helps us miles in order to get to the top of the track. I don't know. Do you want to do that? You can. I mean, of course you want to do that. The point is, are you able to do that? Not because you're a good or a bad player, but because the income tiles on the board allow you to do so. If so, do that, and you will also be able to get to an advanced deck early, but I don't think earlier than round 3, which is, anyway, the earliest moment when you can get one for 99% of the factions. But yeah, I don't have much to tell you about advanced decks. I'm sorry. You know them. The faction is flexible. Prioritize maybe scoring once, of course. But there isn't like a single tech telling you, hey, I'm here, pick me, pick Itars, and then pick me. Consider 2 points per Gaia, but be very wary of where it is and which other factions are in play. That tile is great for you if it sits on top of an unusual track for Gaia forming factions to climb. Say, on top of terraforming, on top of economy, on top of science, because it will be harder for Baltax or Terrans to get, while it will be easy for you to get, because you can climb any track you want, basically. So consider that in those cases. Consider that Itars really can get it easily. Now, I usually talk about round scoring bonuses here, and this episode is no exception. What do we like? Well, we like basically anything. As you may have understood by now, we like opening with a large structure. Say an academy, a planetary institute, whatever. So, round 1, large buildings, great scoring bonus for us. Not one that screams Itars, but yeah, good one. Late game, mines and Gaias. Great! We are a Gaia forming faction and we like that, and we can score tons out of that. Late game, large buildings. Okay, with a caveat. No, maybe we don't. Because if it's mid game, that's fine. We can open with an academy and then open our PI around 3 or 4 when that will give us points. But if it's round 5 or 6, we already want both our structures, or at least one of our structures, in play. So maybe for late game large buildings, we want to open with the PI and then save the academies for late game. Of course, in that case, we are not taking advantage of our amazing left academy, which is a bit of a shame, but trust me, you don't need that in order to win a game or to anyway perform great with Itars. So don't care too much about that. Trade stations, always embarrassing. I mean, whatever. Steps. Okay, if we have a late game step bonus, meaning 2 points per each for each terraforming step, we can still pick Itars based on that, but we are going to want the academy opening, because we want to have lots of resources for late game, especially ore, in order to not have to worry about not having enough resources to terraform, which can happen with the PI. No, sorry, which will happen with the PI, because we are never going to be that rich. But we can still take advantage of that round bonus. So that's basically it. Technology advancements, early game, great for us. Round 1, well, of course, then Open Academy. I mean, it's not that we need those extra 4 points, but that can be a little nudge in that direction. Maybe advancements late game are better. Try to synchronize your PI ability with those rounds, because remember, the Gaia phase is the second sub-phase of a round, so try to gather as much power as possible during the round before. But, I mean, what am I doing? Of course you're going to gather tons and tons and tons of power, because you really want all the technology tile on the board, because you're a baby child, so whatever, do whatever you want. Try to, no, anyway, consider that. Also consider that with your PI ability you can also get advanced tiles, huh? So maybe if the opponents are not ready yet, but you, and neither are you, but maybe you become ready throughout the Gaia phase, yeah, you can steal them under their noses, because they're playing factions which are not completely broken. Okay, so not much to say about round scoring bonuses. Try to do your best with them, score with them. Easy peasy, usual drill, vanilla Gaia project. Last but not least, round boosters. Round boosters are quite important. It's not like you cannot play Itars if there are not the correct round boosters, but look at them at the beginning of the game. Because here we have a special relationship with one of the most neglected ones, which is of course 1 ore income and 2 extra power tokens. We love that booster. I remember I once played a game with Lantids where I just wasn't able to get the booster because the Itars player was grabbing it every other round and they never left it to me when they could. And that's because we really need as many power tokens as we can. That's a bit of a shame, because if we get the 2 extra power tokens federation, we are not getting income in order to drive us forward with the federations. But I mean, what else do you want from a faction? We get we get tech tiles without having to build labs and while expanding. So yeah, maybe a bit of a drawback could help. I don't know. So if that booster is in play, we really like it. I don't think it's necessary round 1, even though some people do that, do take that. But it is also true that if you really don't need another booster, which is in play, maybe since you picked Itars, you were not exactly last pick, so it's likely that the good boosters have already gone. So that booster is absolutely fine for us. Absolutely. That's a nice extra in order for you to pick Itars. Large buildings and charge 4, we, as already said, are quite a large building dependent faction because they unlock all our best abilities. So amazing booster for us. Take it. Nebulas are not in play because you are the white faction. So a bit less competition, but that's a good booster for everyone. So we really like that. 1 point per mine. Amazing if we are getting, especially the PI opening, because we often have a lot of mines. 2 points per trading station. That booster sucks. I really don't know how to say it in different ways. 3 points per lab. Not great. Not great. We really are not a lab dependent faction. So yeah, take it in if it's the appropriate round, but don't base your Itars pick based on that. And whoa, 4 credits and 1 point per Gaia. Yeah, that's a great one. That's amazing, and it also helps, especially with the PI opening, because we are going to lack credits. And so, perfect booster for us, as it is for all Gaia forming factions. We don't especially need the 1 ore and 1 knowledge, but I also have to say, and this is also true for the lab booster, of course, that every single knowledge point we can get is important if we did open PI. And also helps if we open Academy, because maybe we went up like, I don't know, 2 steps on the science track, and now with a small help we can reach the 8 knowledge points per round. So those boosters have that merit, 1 ore and 1 knowledge. Yeah, maybe good at the beginning, as it always is. Also, that basically grants us the Academy, because so we start at 6, we go to 9 with the ore from the mines, and so we just need 2 ores. So yeah, opening granted. But that's not hard anyway. It's more valuable for us for the knowledge income, in my opinion, but that's still a good one. 2 credits and 1 QAC. Amazing. Now, always good. But just be aware that we really are not good at QAC actions, in my opinion, unless we climb the QAC track, which we can, of course, do, but we don't have any special advantage for that. And more often than we would like, we are forced to use our QACs to move around the map to grab new transteams, as I was saying before. Does this make this one a bad booster? Absolutely not. This remains a good booster, a great one, as I was saying, which goes along with the +3 range booster that helps us greatly with reaching distant white and especially transteam planets. Step booster, always nice. Not as good as the range one, because we want transteams, we don't want to dig blue or gray. Okay, so I think that's all. I think that's basically it for Itars. I'm sorry, the last guide is of course another boring and somehow useless, I'm afraid, guide. You just have to do the usual good stuff, play good Gaia project, start with building a nice economy, especially if you open with the Academy. Then score by following the round bonuses and using the basic tactile of 3 points per Gaia, or start reckless with the Planetary Institute, burn your power, play to the extreme, start scoring immediately, and the game's going to be fine. Anyway, Itars are a good faction and you shouldn't worry too much. So, thanks again to all of my listeners. Please subscribe to the podcast on Spotify or on your favorite listening application. Rate us 5 stars. And if you don't want to rate us 5 stars, don't rate us, do something else. And quick reminder that you can try Magic Mind. You will find both the link and the discount code in the description of this episode, so check that out. Also, just out of curiosity, I mean, it's really interesting, so have a look. I really like that. And and you can still buy paiagroject t-shirts, which remind you of the most important thing in this game, which is never play Baltax. And I have not much else to tell you. Aside from thanks for listening, contact me through the Discord channel if you want, or via email. And hear you on the next episode of paiagroject, where we are going to discuss the Lost Fleet. Bye!